around the country. Right. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce today's speaker. I'm also two reasons. One is I'm a cricket buff, and I'm also have a special affinity to Kumaraguru College of Liberal Arts and Science, where we conducted a couple of training programs. I run a training center called Silver Tongue, and we have conducted a few theater workshops and other programs at KCLAS. So it gives me double delight to welcome today's speaker and all of you to this meeting. Before we get started, I thought we'll give a brief introduction about today's speaker. So Professor Leo Gertrude is an experienced multimedia and visual communications professional and has been a senior lecturer in computer games and animation at Asia Pacific University in Malaysia. He has a long list of achievements, and some of them are certifications in cricket coaching, social media marketing, and cyber crime specialization. And he was also awarded the best teacher as well as for his research papers. He has published and presented various papers at international conferences as well. And he has also directed promotional films and ads. He's also actively curious about MI, filmmaking, multimedia, advertising, and media research. He's an active member of Society of Digital Information and Wireless Communications and the International Association for Media and Communication Research. So I think the resume that he has submitted to CMA is quite very, very brief, because as I logged in to the meeting this evening, he was having a casual chat with Vidya ma'am, and he was giving so much of extra information about himself. So very, very interesting. So I request him to provide more information about what he's doing before he actually gets into today's talk. So once again, I welcome all of you to this interesting talk. And yeah, over to you, Mr. Leo. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for the warm welcome and detailed introduction. I just want to add why this particular cricket as well as IPL is one of my favorite. As I said, like cricket is so much into India. So do like me, like from my childhood, I was a street cricket player. When I actually had an opportunity to work in Malaysia, I had a good chance to be a cricket coach for my cricket team, Asia Pacific University. That's where the entire story started. Then I went to Dubai for a ICC level 1 coach cricket program, where I finished level 1 coaching. Then I took up a junior team. I was training them. That's how it started. So that's the way I started enjoying cricket. And before I came back to India, I was fully into this. And actually, I was doing some little bit of research work as part of my academic one. And I've been traveling with this cricket part of life for quite long. So I do a little bit of follow-up on behind the scenes of IPL, because I do support Royal Rajasthan in the mentoring part of juniors. So that's the way I keep involving myself. Coming back to the topic here, because when I heard like management students, management people are coming for this talk, I was trying to figure out how this particular topic, especially IPL tournament, especially IPL business model, can some kind of understanding for them, or they can understand what they can get out of this. So that's why I thought this topic can be one. Okay, to start with, I'll throw a light on how this entire IPL story started coming into play. If everyone remembers, 1983 was the first time we won World Cup. Okay, so then after that, like cricket becoming some kind of a game where everyone started taking up as if it is their game, and we started following Sachin, we started following Kapil Dev. Everyone wanted cricket to be their game. When foreign direct investment came in 1991-92, Star TV came with the mission of having a sports channel. And I'm sure like most of you remember like how India, Pakistan tournaments have started happening, and it was started happening in every month almost. So average of 17 to 18 matches per year was happening. So if you look at 1991 to 2007, we had 327 matches. In that, we had at least 40% of match was against Pakistan. So the business model starts here, right? Like as everyone talks about, India was Pakistan match is supposed to be one of the most attracted match, either in online, either in the ground. So that's the way the cricket was started becoming. So the tournament was broadcast in Doordarshan as well as Star Sports, and it became very very popular in those days. So when India again won 2007 T20 World Cup, the T20 format was popular in South Africa. So BCCI as well as ICC took over the T20 tournament, and to cut down to little on the business side also, it made a lot of impact in South Africa. That's why they took up as a T20 World Cup, and India won. And that's where like our BCC encashed that opportunity, brought 2008 as the first part of IPL tournament. So the steps were so very neatly laid. People from the business side as well as from the sports side, people could understand like, okay, from a full day long, 8 hours of match can be shut down to 3 hours, 4 hours of match. Plus, it has been hosted in the evening time. People can come and participate, even you go and work. So that's the way it has been programmed. And moreover, when we won the World Cup, then it's an easy cakewalk for this kind of format for the audience to understand. From 2008 to 2023, we had, if you look at IPL matches, we had 597 matches. So every tournament, it had at least 60 to 70 matches. Number of players, venues. I'll be coming up some of the slides in the next one. So if you look at the prize money, like it started from 15 lakhs, now it is 250 lakhs. No, that's why like when Sir was talking about the insurance, now it was quite heavy. And if you look at the kind of costliest season was 2023, and the first season was the cheapest one. And the players were bought by 18 crores. It went on. Some of the data were like I couldn't get the exact data, but the least was 20 lakhs or even like that. It went for even for 18 to 90 lakhs. So when we look at all these data, what exactly mean is IPL is not only a game, it had other part of business model also. If you look at sponsors, like the major sponsor for a cup is one, followed by each team had minimum of 5, maximum of 12. If you look at, if most of you are in the industry, you will understand how sponsorships helps a particular team, and especially when we have foreign players, when we have foreign coaches, when we have foreign physiotherapists, all these matters most. So that's the way this one was set up, and India too had a lot of difficulty in hosting it. Okay, so why we are talking about this? All these are going to tell us how organizing a tournament is going to have a lot of impact on the country's part also. So 2008 we started. 2009 we shifted to South Africa because India had an election. Okay, like the entire cricket fraternity was like, what? Come on, India can shift a tournament which is making huge impact to South Africa just because we have election. They were thinking of how much of money we can lose or how much of impact is going to create. But government was very clear, like it needs security and all has to be taken care. So that's the way it was shifted. Again in 2014, 15, or even during post-COVID, like the match was shifted to UAE. And it had its impact. I'll be talking about this impact. So as we talk about the venues, IPL had, we would say like it is India, it is South Africa, it is UAE. If you look at why this particular venues are chosen, one is T20 is very much appreciated in South Africa, not in any other countries, not even in England. So it has to have a crowd. Second one, UAE is again, it had Indian crowd. The facilities are damn good, no taxes. So that's the way it has gone to these places again. So coming back to, I put up a little more detail. Okay, I may talk on certain areas I may not talk. But if you look at, I have put certain areas where technology made an impact, the model made impact, uh, the controversial made impact, how much of broadcasting right, how much of revenue, how much of franchise revenue were there, how many sponsors. So when we understand a game, all this slots of areas are making huge impact with the team. Assume that I'm a CSK franchisee. So I have to make sure that my team have a good players, and I have to put my money into this, like getting a best player for that. But how do I generate? Of course, I have to generate through revenues. But how does the organizing team does it? Like take example, the IPL, BCCI, or even for the IPL organizing team. So they have to depend upon television rights. Like it was Sony who started first. It went to intern for 7 to 8 years. Then it taken from there, it has taken to Star Sports. This one is like from Sony to one. Then the rights have changed. Apart from that, every IPL tournament had a controversies. Like you had a match fixing, you had a suspension of the owner, or it can be fake IPL players. Lot of controversies it had. The other end, IPL also had lots of technology introduction part. Spider cam, LED lights, Hawk, umpire lights, viewerships, all this. So if you go to the next slide, you will see like the technology has come so much. It has had people could reach to their players in the ground. No, umpire had a camera on his cap. We could find out what the players are discussing apart from the stump mics. We could see what umpire sees it. So all these are created so that as an audience, I'm part and parcel of that particular game. No, I'm not left out. So that's the idea behind it, so that it has reached its best part of getting the audience into the game, apart from just seeing as a match. So if you look at most of the technology which is being done by Indian companies also, apart from other companies of other countries, the technologies that has been practiced, and the sponsorships are all over the world. If you look at the first sponsorship that I said, it's 5. If you look at 2020, it is 12. And if you look at sponsorship of 2023, it was around 23. So that's the kind of sponsorships it went on. If you look at other areas, if as a game, it had, these are the areas that it had. One is the technology wise. Though most of the technologies we are able to adopt from other games, but if you have to compare and see which is the one have the highest number of cameras, it's our cricket game. So 36 cameras apart from your stem camera. So that's the kind of technology we have. Then talking about the big names, like we had big sponsors like Pepsi, Coke, Dreamland, DLF, all the big sponsors were part of it. Then franchising model, sponsorship model, advertising model was part of it. And if you look at last three series were almost like after COVID, it was started coming in streamlining. Like you can sit in your systems and then watch out. That's also is brought into. And as I said, like the dramas and controversials, like it had its amazing. Like I'll be comparing IPL, Indian Premier League, with English Premier League. If I have to see the controversial that in IPL had is amazing compared to EPL, but each and every controversials that we had, it actually took the game to the next level. No, there was a lot of allegations on match fixing, but ICC took care of it. Like it had its own impact on it. And the super stars, like talking about the players, talking about the actors, talking about the anchor persons, all were part of it possible. And more number of sponsors also part of it, this particular one. And how does the IPL revenue supported us? Now, if you look at from 2008, though I may not go into detail, like it had a percentage from starting from 1 till it was 4.5, which is huge compared to any other game in the world. I'm talking about in India. So it had its high impact. of revenue generation. And the major point of different it had, especially as a media guy, as a cricket coach, I can see there is a quite number of employment opportunities been created. Okay, starting from a player till the human resource part, like it had a team management. Each direct employment sectors has been divided, and it goes on quite heavy line. Okay, I'll be showing some samples, okay, like in a ground way. And the team management part are the huge one. Okay, the first two areas that we are talking about, cricketing roles and team management, are the exactly the team wise. The rest of the things comes as a pure business model, like I mean business people, marketing and sales, media and broadcasting. If there was a discussion where they were talking about, like, is there any possibility of a possibility of having IPL without television? There is no possibility. You cut down television rights from IPL, there is no cricket match at all. Now that's the reason if Sony or Stars want to stop broadcasting a cricket match, they say it's impossible for them to run a channel. That's the way it is. I still remember one of the IPL matches had a telecasting issue problem, especially with the technical side. It went on for a blockage of at least 30 seconds. There was a big kind of a controversial came up, because how come this much of technology can go block at this hour, especially at around 8 o'clock in the prime time, and people could not understand why it is. So that much technology, I mean, that much of broadcasting issues are there. And of course, like you can talk about like a hospitality, more number of data analysis part has started coming in. Like as a if you are in a cricket, you will understand how much of data needs. Take example, if I'm a batsman, like what type of wicket I have, like whether I was caught out or whether I had a keeper catch, whether I had thrown my wicket for a run out. That kind of data are analyzed, given to the opposite coaches, and the coaches works on with the bowlers so that my wicket can be taken easily. One simple data that I'm trying to show. This is the kind of data analysis they do on a player. Leave out on the player. People also take it on the team. People take it on the ground. People take it on the weather. So all the data are now like people take it and analyze it, and then produced it in such a way, even before the match, people could find out who is going to win with on what factors they're going to win. I'm sure like 2023 World Cup, I mean, IPL Cup that people played, match went till 2 o'clock. People have no idea how much of weather had impact on the ground, on the player, on the result of the match. Okay, so these are the kind of analysis were there, and CSK, they have amazing data analyst on this side. Again, coming back to medical fitnesses, professionals, legals, another one. These are direct employment by the agencies, by the teams, by the organizations. There are other areas which is indirect employment that IPL creates. The hospitality, tool and tourism, retail, security, media advertising, all these are indirect. Either if you look at, there is a fan club in Marina Beach in Coimbatore, I mean, in Chennai, and in Coimbatore we had in VOC Park, where the match is broadcast, where the audience have been shown. So there are also virtual participation in the ground. So this kind of indirect way of employment also is created. If you look at as a IPL tournament, the entire process of making audience being part of the television program is the vital one. Okay, like even there is a discussions like, can someone operate the cameras virtually? Me sitting over here, I can pan my camera sitting over here so that I can find out my favorite player where he is standing. That kind of a game engine concept, people also working out now. So most probably in a day, or I mean in a year or two, that will be available, so that I can find out Dhoni is standing in a position. I can put my camera, be sitting in my home. I can put my camera over there so that I can have only his view rather than anybody's one, or it can be on the batsman. So those technology has been brought into. So those kind of experimental research part also is happening the other side. Coming into the so-called the business model, why IPL have been successful is because of this kind of concept that they have. One is revenue through broadcasting rights, sponsorships, and ticket sales. Now it has gone to the next way of making sure that it's also come through streaming. Like if you look at Geo was doing the streaming now. Previously, it was Star Sports in satellite as well as in the channels. Then apart from that, it also had rights for the players. Certain parts of areas was not disclosed. Certain part of the things were disclosed. So when we had this kind of sectors, this kind of points, it had a lot of other areas of comparisons. So if you look at IPL was, I won't say like we copied from English Premier League, but the kind of model we practiced was the same. That's what Lalit actually put up when he was on the discussion. When a football can have so much in Europe and other part of the world, why can't cricket do it? Like, so that's the way like they program it. And today, like if you could see, like we are almost equal, even in the revenue generation part, either in the players wise, etc., etc. It is almost like equal. People could figure out IPL is marking its standard. To an extent, people say like World Cup is secondary compared to IPL. Okay, so if you look at the governing body, like we have this BCCI, franchisee owners, operations wise. If you look at certain part, why I'm sharing this particular Indian Premier League, English Premier League comparison is there are areas where the minimum number of behind the scenes are happening. Okay, like as a football game, it doesn't have much people involved in it, much department involved in it. As a business model, yes, but as a game wise, it doesn't have. But if you look at now, slowly, like it had its review systems, technology of replay and see the foul system have brought in. Again, it is copied from television, from TV. I mean, from cricket. So these kind of small technology reference have come from cricket, and it has been used here. And few technologies that IPL had is been put in practice of English Premier League, and those also coming into like there's one game where they had a cloud detection a method where how much a ball can travel, hit a player, cloud, especially football, and how a goalkeeper saves a ball. So those kind of technology we also had, how much a ball can travel, hit a bat, and we can find out what type of angle a batsman has. Those again, the comparison of this both is almost equal. So again, that's why I'm talking about this kind of comparison. Coming back to the formats, how the operation normally has is, just giving you one simple example. It starts with the auction in the month of January. Then it goes to a pre-tournament where the teams are formed. And from there, the match is scheduled, the tournament happens, and the tournament concludes. Then we have a post-tournament of revise, feedbacks and improvements. And from there, again, we leave players for a re-auction, or we block the players. If you look at this, the simple format normally it's followed. And if you look at the other operational sites, which is actually happens. No, the diagram may say like it may go here and there, but if you look at the auction, it starts from the auction. The operations wise has been scheduled by the organizing team. Organizing governing body, like I would say like BCCI. So it shares the team with the team, and to an extent, some of the matches are being arranged as per the team also. Like if you look at there was a match was scheduled to happen in the afternoon, was promoted to in the either the previous day evening because of the hot sun. And it's also go to the marketing team after the operational team, how it can be promoted, how the promotional concept can be brought in, the budget for the proposals, approval of proposals, So this is the format that normally happens with the tournament as well as with the non-tournaments people. Like the slide that I showed you previously, which normally has a simple format. Like as I said, the second part goes into much detail. And I'll be sharing you one area where like take example, like if I won't be sharing you all the department that involves behind the scene. The reason is if I have to share you, like if I have to talk about this, the entire session may go for 3 to 4 hours. So I'll cut down. I'll show one sample, and then from there we can understand how it works. So if you take ground maintaining department, okay, like as a player, okay, these are the departments that normally involves. If they have to take example, if it is a Chennai Chepauk ground, this departments involve themselves in preparing a pitch. Okay, like take example, the groundskeeping department make sure that the ground is ready, pitch is prepared, outfield is ready, grass is cut, watered, everything is ready. Then comes to the pitch preparation department. Okay, they have to be taken care, and it has to come from the creator has to appointed by BCCI. He takes care, and it also have to come under ICC method, because it cannot be in a position where it can be a part where it can happen to have a match fixing one. If you, I'm sure like most of you would have seen ICC match fixing scandal video of Sri Lanka was England match in Sri Lanka. So where a creator can create a pitch rough, and then from there the match fixing happens. So now this pitch department have to work with ICC or BCCI so that it has. Then irrigation departments. Even this is also a kind of warning now, because if the pitch is too wet on the outfield, it can be very dangerous for the player. Sometimes it can go against the team, so it has to be there. Then the landscaping, then facilities department. Okay, like we are talking about dressing rooms, restrooms, seating arrangements, spectators, like cleanliness, etc., etc. So all these are taken care in the ground maintaining one. Of course, like electrical and security department and administrative departments. So like I'm talking about one department which has only in the ground part, only that what we watch in a match. This much of department have, and each department will have minimum 30 to 40 people involved. So if I have to say this entire one will have so much of around 500 600 people working. Literally, we had counted one of the CSK match, how many people were involved the day before, from the day where we had a booking open up till the match got over. People left, the players left, the audience left, security left. It was cleared and it was logged. We counted it is 598 people involved in that production. The entire match. We didn't add any non CSK, non Chepauk players. It have we encountered the people who are working on the ground, except the broadcasting team. We are talking about the ground main one. That's the example I've showed you. So this is the kind of people who work behind. So apart from that, we have some other departments that we are talking about, auctions or operations wise, marketing wise, team preparations wise. So pre-tournament, post-tournament, all this is part and parcel of one. So if I have to add some more point, like it will go more than one. With that, I'll stop. I'll open up the forum for a discussion so that we can take. I have some more slides. I think I restricting my time to only, it's already 7:10. So I am closing up my time here. Let's open up for the discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Leo. That was a very well thought out and comprehensive presentation. We would love to have you share more slides if you have. Please go ahead.
Okay, ma'am. Sorry. Okay, so just to continue with what we are talking about, the logistics and planning. Okay, like when a team travels across, okay, so just to coordinate, we have this logistic and planning department, which normally takes care of the accommodation arrangements and the tournament operations. Again, it has to work with the local governments because the security wise. So normally, if it is in Chennai, it goes with the Taj or Coromandel. So those kind of areas where we have to work with the security, we have to work with the hotel arrangements, transports, so logistics ones. So all these are planned. If you look at the entire schedules, including the flight part, the players knows that this is the time I'll be here, this is the time I'll be traveling, this is the time I'll be sleeping. We are talking about like 30 days of match, 30 days of tournaments, and it is perfectly planned so that we travel across all the 12 venues. Like in India, we have 12 venues, so that eight team have their host venues. Sometimes it goes to 10 also. So all these are planned so that people can understand, people can take it up, and then people can have perfect planning. The reason why we are saying this one is media travels with them. Okay, like media goes with them in every part. If you would have seen like men blue normally for when India plays it, or yellow pitch, you'll see like in Star. So they go, they find out what they do. So when a first match happens 3 days before, they assemble in the ground, they have their nets. Now nets also is opened up for the public to view. They can come and see their famous players. So the nets over, then they're back to hotel. They go through the internal training program. They have their team building program. They are a match briefing. They come back to match. They will play, go back again. Maybe like that night they travel back to the other state for their next match. So the entire process has been taken care. So from there, it also goes here to the pitch preparations part, making the match to a IPL match. Normally, like if you look at the kind of grandness it carries in a normal cricket match is extremely different from IPL ones. Okay, like IPL matches will have a lot of dance, lot of music, lot of RJs. The reason behind is, one is, though it is a kind of a official match for ICC, it is pure entertainment. Okay, like I have to make sure people come there, even though their favorite team loses the match, they still enjoy that match. Maybe a match can be a thrilling one, or the surroundings with the sound, light, it's good enough for them to enjoy, or the atmosphere is good enough for them to enjoy. So transforming it and making sure that it is in a best place for the players. So that's why, like when many would have seen, cricket had white shirts in 80s, 90s. One FDI started coming in. One Star TV started coming in. It started having color. Now in IPL, you will see a minimum of like 16 colors being used by 8 teams. Each team have 2 jerseys. They keep changing it. Like to an extent, RCB have 3 jerseys: yellow, red, and I think another one is some kind of a pinky one. So they have this. Even like now Lucknow has, as well as Gujarat has. So the jerseys makes impact. Now people are also looking into like bringing up ball deduction games, like creating more one. So again, enhancing broadcasting IPL matches, technology games that we are talking about. So what happens here is the game gets into more live, more attractive, more making the participants to be a part of the game is because of this different technologies that is involved. The recent one that we had is drone cameras and spider cameras. It is mandatory now, as per the ICC, there should be at least a minimum of 3-4 runouts cameras, minimum 4. But now they say like start having drone cameras, start having spider cameras, so that your top angle of those visuals can be much more powerful enough for them even if players block on the sideways. So people using it to the maximum, like that's the way it is. Second, try to give mic to the player as they discuss. You would have seen like players comment as they play. Okay, which means like they are able to get connected. Sometimes you will see like they use abusive language when a catch is dropped. They know how the match is intense, like they could feel it, part of it. So that's also been broadcast. Of course, it doesn't happen in regular matches. To an extent, we cut down. We don't want audience to listen what players discuss. Only a few areas we the audio is released out. Otherwise, it's normally don't do. They don't do that. This is the another one. Again, talking about the players' drama, we are talking about. I'm sure, like you would have heard about slap. The slap game by Srishant and Harbhajan. Again, that kind of one. Though it is very simple. It's a simple argument between two players. There's a drama being done by Kohli and Gautam Gambhir. So all these are simple one. But what happens is all these are taken in by our national channels, or I mean talking about news channels. Though the game gets over by 11 o'clock, the entire scene of drama has been taken for next 48 hours by the news channel and make it so big. That's why, as I said, like though we had a lot of controversials, the controversials were much more advanced, much more plus for the IPL game as well as for the production one. Okay, like now, if how many, I don't know how many have watched, when the players get down from the bus, they normally drop their mobile phone in the bag because they are not allowed to have mobile phone in their during the matches because of the match fixings. All these are taken care by the security agencies appointed by the ICC. We are talking about the players. Each player have been insured also. It has to be like properly done by these players. I mean, security agencies. Sometimes it goes to the local security agencies. Sometimes it's been given to the foreign agency also. Apart from taking care of the audience. Taking care of the audience is like the safety of the audience, then safety of the ground, safety of the officials also. Like I'm sure, like most of you would have seen, normally the football referees have been chased by audience, chased by the players. It doesn't happen in cricket so far. No. Though people will have very strict phases on them, but it doesn't happen in cricket. But still, they are protected well. So that's why it is so far so good. Marketing and sponsorships, promoting IPL is one major one. Securing and partnerships is another major tool that so far IPL has been so successful one. The reason is, as I said, like it had 24 sponsorship for 20 last one. The reason is the visibility it creates. The visibility it creates. The major chunk of the entire production is the prime time. Now, we in the media we call it as prime time from 6 to 8 p.m. So IPL takes from 7 to 9 or 11 p.m. When someone takes up the prime time, the entire crowd is been started pulling to IPL. Like there's a study which has been shown, which says compared to the normal serial that people watch in Tamil audience, have come down little low compared to the IPL matches when they watch CSK. So almost like CSK matches become some kind of a competitor for the serial that has happened. And it's also showed how much people go back, watch the re-telecast of that particular serial on the next day because of the IPL matches that has been played. So that kind of publicity it started coming in. The other big visibility it created is because of the regional language channels it carried. Like take example, when the first one had only Sony, it had Hindi and English. Today we have Telugu, we have Tamil, we have Malayalam also to an extent. Gujarati it have. So it goes as per the team also. So the number of regional channels under satellite channels is quite a long now. So that also gives an extra edge for us to watch. And again, sponsorships, local sponsorships, abroad sponsorships, lot of one. And the ICC also allows them to use many number of logos in the t-shirts. So that gives an extra one for the players to for the franchisee to explore themselves as well as create that visibility. So with whatever we are talking about, like it had IPL not only a sports, not only in entertainment, it also a best business model to generate revenue as well as make a visibility of that particular product. So with that, let me stop and possibly we can have our discussions.
Thank you, Mr. Leo. The floor is open for questions. Participants, please unmute yourselves and shoot away.
Sir, I am Muruganathan. Just now you said it generates much revenue. What about payment of tax by BCCI, sir?
Sir,
If I am correct, more than 50,000 is generated as profit.
Yes, sir.
By BCCI.
I don't know how many knows that BCC comes under NGO. Okay, so the revenue part it is generates, not much of tax has been paid. Like because they always say BCC always claims that this IPL is only been conducted for the development of the games. So that's the kind of information we normally get through when we have this kind of one. Even in the last one, it was a quite huge amount of profit revenues it generated. Tax wise, we were a little bit disappointed to say that it has not been done that way. That's the formula they have it.
Thank you.
Sir, what type of losses are covered under insurance policies?
So
and how far it is profitable for the insurance companies? Do you have any ideas?
Very less, sir. But what I've heard from from the franchisee is all the players are insured, especially if once they have been bought by their team, if they are not able to could not play. So that particular insurance part has been covered. That's what I heard. Rest of the part, I'm not sure, sir. The reason is certain teams actually talk about this in the meetings. Certain teams doesn't share. And mostly they say like it's business confidential, so automatically the information that's not available. So we from whatever I hear, whatever I read through from either from the news agencies or through my friends or through the meetings that we have with the teams, that only this much of information we could get.
Thanks.
I have a question myself.
Yes, ma'am.
It's like a whole, huge conglomerate coming together to conduct these matches, right? So, and it runs like a well-oiled machine without a lot of hitches and all for so many factors, like you gave in your presentation, for so many factors to come together. But is it a seasonal kind of business for all these ancillary partners, or is it throughout the year?
If we can divide it as per the venue, ma'am. If it is a venue, it's a seasonal one. Take example, if it is Chennai, so it's perfectly a seasonal one. If you take metro, if you take the transport, if you take the hotels, it's all seasonal. If you take the team wise, the franchisee wise, they have their own role to play. Take example, the matches got over last May. CSK Royal Rajasthan started their recruiting for their next batch. But I think they started already. They are going across the country, finding out what type of players are there. Young players they're talking about, because the youngest one is 19 years old, eldest one is 36 years old. So they have this one consistently happening, which means like certain part it's very seasonal one. The rest of the things happens all through the year, like fitness level of the players, coaches, So, or even it can be the venue based. If you take Mumbai Indians, Mumbai Indians have their academic. So they train players from across the world. They come, get trained and go back. Then they come back only for the seasons twice. So these are the small one. There is no properly set one. What I have seen is in the comparison of EPL and IPL, they say like EPL is much more perfectly organized one, like English Premier League compared to IPL. I don't know in what sectors they say that, but what from whatever areas that I've read through, the organizations of the team or the tournaments, or it can be the ticketing part or it can be on the referee officials ones, all are perfectly done. That's what they say. But when we watch cricket matches, it's never been like that. No, we feel it's pakka done. It all looks very nice and clean. 7:30 the task goes on. Sorry, 7 o'clock task goes on. 7:30 first ball. 11 o'clock the match gets over. So like what I mean to say is there are a lot of better things are happening on. Still, we are trying to learn from them. That's what it is.
Thank you. So. We have a couple of comments in the messages. Ms. Vigila says, nice session, Leo. Thank you. And Ms. Radhika says, good session, sir.
All my teams.
Personally, what has been your experience as, I think you are a part-time coach for Rajasthan Royals?
No, not a coach, ma'am. Not a coach at all. I'm a mentor.
Okay.
Like I'll do a little bit of mentoring part when they need, because they know that I'm from academic side. They actually ask me to give some kind of ideas on the coaching part. How do the theories of certain game format they can learn? That's the way normally they ask us. And then it's all live online. It all started during COVID time. So that's the way we usually do it. But overall, the experience wise, like actually nobody thought IPL can go to this level of organizing, like 12 venues, 10 teams, 10 teams, 10 venues, 70 matches, 1 month, but it all happens perfectly without any issues, nothing, no problem at all. Like overall speaking, things go very well. Either apart from your organizing the revenue or the financial part it involves, it's all done neatly. So at the end of the day, like you try to see like, yes, this is the business model I can follow, I'll do. I have seen Tamil Nadu Premier League, lot of tournaments that happens in Coimbatore following IPL formats. Can you imagine? So because they get sponsors, they have franchisees, they auction players, they follow up every Sunday. They go to a lot of grounds, they find out who are the best players, they play, they call them, they talk to them, ask them to franchise with them. That's the kind of format one it follows. So which means like IPL is teaching them a lot of good things on how to run a game, how to run a tournament, how to make it a business model. So far it's so good. Ball used in T20s or tests? Yes, sir. That's a quite the ball that we use it in test matches are honest. It's a, you would have seen the colors is red and white. Second thing is the T20. If you look at each one, have a different types of weight. Normally, what we used in Coimbatore, I mean talking about the local level, it will have a very less. And it can last for only 10 overs, 15 overs. Whereas the T20 balls, white balls that we have with the stretches, it goes possibly to 35 overs or 25 to 28 overs. That level ball can withstand. After that, it started tearing off. So now, like if you say like the balls also have a lot of quality. Okay, like somebody people say like it comes from Australia Seagulls, or it can be like red balls. I mean, the brandeds are from Australian brands because of the quality that they have. And now I also see like it's also comes from UK. India also started making a lot of quality balls. So the white one that we use, it is quite good enough for a T20 compared to the one. What do you think will evolve in future? IPL will have more of technology based, which means like I can sit in my home, I can navigate my cameraman. No, that's the game type of one. So if you look at some of the games that we play, normally like we take the camera inside, we go and play. That kind of model can happen. So which means like as a audience, I have the right to use what camera I want. Actually, this one was previously was there. So they can use the camera that is in the front of the batsman, or they can use the camera that is in the spider camera, or it can be one. So I can choose. That's one area it can involve. Second one, the game can come to a lot of other cities, not only to Chennai or Bombay. It can come to Coimbatore. It can go to Trichy, or it can go to Goa. So which means like more number of audience it can happen. So that's a second thing. Third thing is, if you look at CSK normally picks a player from Tamil Nadu Premier League also, TNPL. So that also will happen, which means the local talent started coming in. So that's the way it can change. So one is technology, another one is audience wise. Third one is most probably the kind of business model that we are looking at. So far it's good. So there is a talk that it can go for 12 teams. So that also possible can happen, but they say 10 is the best, and they're restricting to this. So that's the kind of IPL can evolve in future, ma'am. Mostly on technology on the audience side.
Thank you, sir. Any more questions? If there are no more questions, then I call upon Mr. MKG Anand Kumar, our executive committee member and a sports enthusiast himself from Pollachi, to give the vote of thanks. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Tia.
Thank you, sir. Please go ahead.
I really thank Mr. Leo Gertrude, a great personality in the visual communication and in Viscom and all the aspects. A great subject today on a talk about IPL tournaments, behind the scene looks. He has gave a great insights about how the IPL happens and the team as a franchisee or as a game or as a technical aspects of the IPL. So it was really a great session, Mr. Leo, sir. I sincerely and happily thank you for being with us this evening, for giving a session on this beautiful and a lovely subject on IPL, which is an most liked for every one of us. So I really thank you, Mr. Leo Gertrude, for giving a wonderful session on this evening. Thank you so much for being with us. I also thank all the participants, the student members from across the student chapters of our Coimbatore Management Association. I wholeheartedly thank all the participants on behalf of Coimbatore Management Association. And I also thank the student chapter coordinators from the institutions. I have a great pleasure in thanking our president, Mr. Varadarajan, and secretary, Mr. Ravindran, and all our executive committee members for part of this event and the evening of this. I thank the CMA Secretariat, particularly Vidya and Sundar. Thank you so much. A great evening, great session, and I hope it gives a great new look into people's enthusiastic about the game and the sports of things. Thank you, Mr. Leo. Thank you so much. Have a great evening. Thank you so much, Vidya, and thank you all the participants. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all the participants. Thank you, Mr. Leo.
Thank you,
Have a great evening, everybody, and a beautiful week ahead.